Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to That's Football, our third watch-along of the day. It's Liverpool against Newcastle. Did you know we're actually averaging 4.5 goals per game? We had 4 in Arsenal Leeds, we had 5 in Chelsea West Ham. Remember that great game at Anfield all those years ago? In fact, some of you won't remember, you would have probably been up your mum's chuff, but in the sense that you weren't born, nothing sinister. That would be horrific and illegal. No, I meant like you might not have been born. Yeah, was it 96? Keegan nearly collapsing at Anfield as his team lost 4-3 in their title race. It must have been 97, 96, 96, 96, no, 96, 95, 96 season. We won the double. Yeah, it would have been 96. Maybe it was 95 that season. Yeah, it was that season, definitely. Definitely. Anyway, look, big game. I hope you're all very excited for it. I certainly am. It's going to be look, Liverpool will have seen Chelsea win. Hopefully Manchester United are going to win tomorrow. And that gap at the top for Liverpool and Newcastle, if we're being completely honest, does look a little bit ominous. Why have I got Scottish Premier League football on my telly? Where's my remote control? This is a panic. This is a panic. Oh, it's down there. Bloody hell. I was like, what? I mean, fair play, I hope Hearts win, but that is not what we're here for. Yeah, Dundee against Hearts, great stuff. But TNT, Liverpool, Newcastle, thank you. Right, players are on the pitch, lovely stuff. Yeah, so you look at that league table, Chelsea with that brilliant comeback win in the second half at Stamford Bridge. They've opened the gap up on 6th place Liverpool to 4 points. And Newcastle, it is 7 points. So whoever loses this game tonight, their Champions League hopes diminish through the Premier League. Liverpool have Man City away at home next week, and then they've got Sunderland away. They need to find some form. I don't think Liverpool have that form in them. I've already said I don't think they're going to get Champions League football. So let's see what Liverpool can do tonight against Newcastle. Newcastle loss. I mean, I was just looking at Newcastle's next few games, actually. And they've got... Obviously, they're playing Liverpool tonight, Brentford at home, Tottenham away, Man City away. So I don't think Newcastle are going to do it, even if they win here. I just don't think they're going to do it. But for Liverpool, they've got to try and find a way of winning. Jack Dyson, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you so much for getting involved. Big one. This one's probably more, as a United fan, the game where I'm looking for a draw. I expected Chelsea to win anyway, although at 45 minutes halfway through, there was a little bit of hope. But this one tonight, from a United point of view, and Chelsea, if they draw, that puts Liverpool on 37, and then if we win, we go to 41, 4-point gap on 4th place, and they've got to play Man City next week when we've got to play Spurs at home. So I think it's a real opportunity to maybe come out the end of February and be, dare I say, 8 points ahead of Liverpool in Champions League. So look, let's see what Newcastle can do here tonight. Give us your thoughts. We'll run a bit of a poll, actually. Result. What you're going for. Liverpool win, draw, or Newcastle win. Not really been any shocks to this weekend. We've had a couple of Premier League weekends where we've had a few shocks. Not really had any thus far. Maybe tonight could be it. Please do share the video. Jay says, come on Newcastle, I hate Liverpool and the demise of their season is hysterical. Yeah, you say what you think, Jay. You go for it, mate. Referee Simon Hooper. What do you think about the Todibo sending off? I think it's so late in the game that there's a level of hypocrisy to it, actually. Although Casemiro got sent off for it, it was a few years ago, and I completely forgot about the Semenyo one on Delo for Bournemouth. If he'd got sent off, we'd have won that game instead of drawing it. So, yeah, I'm a little bit against it now. I thought he was going to get sent off, but right at the end of the game, what difference does it make? Semenyo does it at the start of the game and stays on, and we drew that game. So it's the inconsistencies again, isn't it? It doesn't make a difference to Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea fans care. I don't think West Ham really care, although he misses a few games, of course. He misses 3 games, which is important for them. Man United could go down to 6th tonight, says Gonzo. Well, I hope not. I hope not. Look, this should be a good game. Newcastle are a good side. I just think they're a very inconsistent side. So let's have a look at the teams. Remove that. Take that. Good documentary that was. I enjoyed it. Okay, so Liverpool team's on your screen. Alisson, Szoboszlai at right back, Konate, Van Dijk and Kerkez. Good that they've got Konate back. I think he had some family issues to resolve. Gravenberch, McAllister and Wirtz, and then Salah, Gakpo and Ekitike. Probably their strongest team. I think that's got the right balance. Actually using wide players. Don't have a lot on the bench, Liverpool. That's always going to be their problem. Newcastle, Pope, Hall, Byrne, Tau, Trippier, Willock, Tonali, Ramsey, Alanga, Gordon, Barnes. No Bruno Guimaraes, no Joel Linton. That surely puts it in Liverpool's corner. And they've got a corner here, Newcastle. So what's the story with Bruno G and Joel Linton then? Are they both injured? Because that's a big blow for Newcastle, having to play without those two. I think that's advantage Liverpool. Although I probably do agree with you, Chicken Chow Mein. I would go Andy Robertson over Kerkez. He's very stubborn about that, though, isn't he? Slot. Early corner for Newcastle. Well delivered. Headed away. Bruno G is injured. How was your Big Mac, Mark? Says Gracie. Lovely. Really enjoyed it. Andrew says, I think Liverpool will get this over the line. Cloudy Milk says Bruno G and Joel Linton are off to Al Nazir. Oh, in the summer. Joel Linton, groin, Bruno, ankle. Dennis says, both injured, but Joel Linton has been pants this season whenever I've seen Newcastle, so I wouldn't say it's a big loss. I do rate Jacob Ramsey, and I think Joe Willock's steady, but he's injured here as well. Not that steady. He's on his arse. Yeah, I'd say with Bruno G out, this is going to be a tough game for Newcastle. Isak sat there against his former club, of course. Not fit. Injured. He's sat on his own, look. Call of Stewie says, Carlo says, Liverpool win and we won't even be close. I think with Liverpool, my assessment of Liverpool all season has been if Salah can play well, they'll probably win the game. But how often does that actually happen? Is Isak still injured, says Ia. Right, he'd be injured for a while, yeah. So 39% of you gone with the Liverpool win, 30% gone with the draw, and 31% gone with the Newcastle win. Look, if Liverpool get over the line and win this, as I say, they've got 3 very difficult games coming up. How are you finding the sit-down wipes nowadays, says Kick Your Ass. Game changer. Let's move on. If you're in the US, it's on NBC, says Jade. Yeah, please do share the video if you're watching our 3rd watch-along of the evening. We're here with Man City and Spurs tomorrow as well. Tonali. Newcastle have started off quite well. Anthony Gordon playing in the striker position. Alanga nearly slipping it back in. A good start by Newcastle, though. And the one thing you can always say is that you will get chances against this Liverpool side. Nice ball by Alexi McAllister. Wirtz needs to start showing his worth, doesn't he? Wirtz. Here's Salah. Into Wirtz. Around the box, he just seems to panic. And it's Newcastle on the attack again. Anthony Gordon. He's overhit that. Has the Royal Rumble proper started yet? I'm just thinking about whether to put it on my phone. Good start by Newcastle, says United Jake. Yeah, I think in order of results, a draw would be best for United and therefore Chelsea. A win for Newcastle second and a win for Liverpool third. Just in the context of the Champions League. Ooh. Mark, you're about 10 seconds delayed. 6:40. No, I'm not. I'm exactly synced up with TNT, so it's what we get. If you're ahead, well done. I find it very hard to believe that that's the case, though, because we're actually watching it on TNT, so I don't think you're going to be 10 seconds ahead in anywhere in the world compared to us watching it in the UK on that. Alisson getting a bit angry. Alisson Becker there. Bit of a shove. Big Mac was very nice, Sean. Thank you very much. Favourite players from each club in the top 6 right now, says Totally Healthy. I don't play that. Totally Healthy. Totally stupid. I mean, with all due respect, I'm well into my 40s and I don't do favourite player at every club. I know some of you do. Play it amongst yourselves. Who do I think is the best player at every club? Arsenal, I'd say Declan Rice. Manchester City, Erling Haaland. Aston Villa is a tougher one. Morgan Rogers. Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes. Chelsea. Caicedo. And who's in 6th? Liverpool. Well, Liverpool's a harder one this season because you'd always say Mo Salah, but this season I think Szoboszlai. I nearly did say Enzo for Chelsea, to be fair, but I still think Caicedo is a very important player for them. Man United's best player at Chelsea is Garnacho. Oh, Alexi McAllister's down holding his neck. Got to be careful here. No, come on. I mean, that's just subpar from Alexi McAllister to go down like that. Mate, come on. You wouldn't even get a job on Hollyoaks for that. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. Come on. Look at him. Mate, that is an absolute over-exaggeration, I'm sorry. And it's not even a yellow card either. Irish Mick says, remember the days you would do a show walking to work, Mark? Yeah, I used to enjoy it as well. I enjoyed the one I did at the turn of the year in the garden as well. I need to start doing it a little bit more. It's nice to get out. Yeah, Anthony Gordon, of course, did get sent off in the game at St James's Park at the start of the season. Deservedly so. Maybe Liverpool looking to exploit that again, but that was embarrassing from Alexi McAllister. I mean, look, he might have a big spot on his chest and it's been knocked by Anthony Gordon and hurt him, but yeah, little bit over the top, that one. Is Eddie Howe under pressure? What pressure? Yeah, I think he is a little bit. I do think he is under a bit of pressure. Newcastle seem to be... I don't know what the don't know what the expectations are at Newcastle. I think they are aware of their limitations under PSR, which sort of does make a difference. And you know that is a thing, of course. But I think that they probably would be looking at why. Oh, he might be gone there, Anthony Gordon. You can't keep doing that. That's a yellow card. He's got to be very careful. What is it about Anthony Gordon and Liverpool? He's like a Rottweiler going off a bloody after a beef joint, isn't he? Look. I mean, that's just, it's not as bad. I mean, again, it's just silly. It's silly. I don't think it will be a red. However, you literally got sent off for this before. Ex-Everton, could be that. He was an Everton player. He nearly signed for Liverpool. I'm sure Liverpool were after him. I don't think that's a red. Yeah, I don't think that is a red. I don't think they'll review that as a red. He has to go for that, says William. No, he's up on his feet. I don't think it will be a red, but there could be a red coming in. Anyway, is he under any pressure, Eddie Howe? I think the issue you've got at Newcastle is he's won you a trophy, which hadn't happened in a long time. He's qualified you for the Champions League, but what tends to happen is you get in the Champions League and then the next year you're not in Europe at all. So the next step for Newcastle is to be consistently in Europe, and it's unlikely they're going to be in the Champions League next season. So I don't know. Do you own any shares in the stock market, says Connor? No. And as a Liverpool fan, would sub McAllister for that? What a joke, says T3. Well, I like your honesty, mate. Favourite player's done that one from Totally Healthy. What's up with Konate's hair? I don't know, I haven't looked. Chances of Anthony Gordon being sent off? Very, very high. And it's a shame because Newcastle have started off very well. I think the vulnerabilities of Man City, of Liverpool are very, very clear. I mean, I think early take that Man City are going to come to Anfield next week and beat them comfortably. That's my opinion. Lots of energy in this Newcastle performance. Liverpool struggling in the first few minutes to get any headway. Thanks very much for your early super chats as well, Connor. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't own any shares in the stock market. I don't really. It's more of yeah. I've just never bothered. I did a bit of Bitcoin years ago. You know, the one where it was like going up in massive amounts. And then it went down in massive amounts. And I thought, you know what? Lovely play by Gakpo. Needs a pass into Ekatike, but he loses it. Yeah, Konate's dad passed away. I don't know whether lost his father. That's why his head is shaved. Okay. Cross comes in. Hamburg gets away. Have you watched Industry? It's really good. Oh, it's brilliant, Jade. Loved it. Yeah, I'd recommend Industry. I really enjoyed it. Only got into it sort of probably summer last year and watched all of them, and then the new series has just come out. Yeah, I did really enjoy that. Which right backs would you target if you were Liverpool, says Manga? Well, I was going to ask that question at some point. Liverpool looking at going into the transfer market with... How long is Frimpong out for? Because Connor Bradley's one's obviously quite bad. Joe Gomez is injured. Szoboszlai is playing there at the moment. Frimpong's injured again. There's nothing good on the TV at the moment. I enjoyed The Night Manager. I enjoyed... industry. And that Salt Lake thing looks quite good. And there's another series I watched on Netflix with your man from... what was he in? Is it John Burgle? He was in The Walking Dead. He was in... Yeah, that's quite good. Oh, there's some classics you need to watch, like True Detective, yeah. Nice ball over the top, but Pope's going to get that. His and Her, yeah, that was it. It's all right. Homeland, I gave up on Homeland. It got too much, too many episodes. If Liverpool lose their next 3, do you think Slot would be gone to ZM? I mean, look, I think after a game, you're always like, you've got to let them go. And then the next game comes and you go, give them another chance. I do think with Slot, he's obviously going to get the season. Landman's very good. Yeah. I'll tell you what's good as well. Fargo. Mayor of Kingstown. One of my mates is rewatching Breaking Bad. I mean, I haven't got a problem with it. Ekatike. From distance. Good shot straight at the keeper, though. I ain't got a problem with that, but I think it's a bit sad when you go back and watch a classic series because it shows you that there's nothing good. They're all TV series. Lovely run. Good defending. I haven't really watched a good film in a long time. I watched that one with DiCaprio in it that's going to win a load of Oscars, and I've got to say, if that's what a good film is these days, we were spoiled in the 90s. I just don't think they make good films anymore. I thought it was okay. What's it called? The latest DiCaprio one. No, I can't remember the name of it. One battle after another. Yeah, it was all right, but I wouldn't say it was great. I mean, let's put it this way. The Dark Knight, which I don't think is the best Batman film, shits all over it. Lovely ball into Salah. He's got loads of space. I think he's miles offside, though. I'm not understanding why he's not been given offside. He's miles offside. Yeah. Don't know why they played on there. He looked about 10 yards off. The Rip is good, Mark. I watched The Rip last week. It was all right. No, he's onside. It's in his own half. So they've not given a corner? No, because he kicked it off Salah. Yeah, Gaz, you're right. He was in his own half. Trippier did well. Yeah, The Rip's worth a good. Would you ever do the stand-up again, says Callum? I did enjoy it the first half an hour I did at the last United Stand show. I did enjoy it. I would like to do that. It's a different skill, though. I mean, stand-up comedians, it's their job, isn't it? And I'm not saying I'm a stand-up comedian. I just quite enjoy doing that sort of thing. I wouldn't say I'm very good at it either. But look, this game so far, Newcastle would be pretty pleased with it. Again, Liverpool, very lacklustre. I spend so much time thinking Liverpool are going to click, and I've now got to the opinion that it's just not going to happen. They'll win some games, they'll lose some games. Anthony Gordon, but they're just not going to be the Liverpool they were last season. If he puts that cross in, good defending by Van Dijk. How's your back, Mark? Says Laura. It's a bit better, you know. I've been using these heat pads, and they definitely do work. Liverpool bought mugs, says Front Wheel. The trouble is, that's the disintegration of a team, isn't it? Liverpool last season were incredible, and this season they just look a bit average. But they've spent £500 million. And you feel like they might need to spend that again, and they need to get it right. Voltemada is on the bench, Wolf. Corner to Newcastle here. Salah has lost so much pace. Trippier can keep up with him, says Jack. Look, that's a great observation. I think Mo Salah's numbers over previous seasons is so high that when he's performing badly, you feel like it must be a blip. But it's not a blip. He's fell off. And I liken it to Rooney at United. It was horrible to see a player who's generational become, well, still very good, but not the player they were. And I think with Salah, that's what has happened. He's just become less of the player than he was. And pace is a big part of that. I was saying that about Rashford. Like, apparently Carrick would like to bring Rashford back. Marcus Rashford's 29 in October. At some point in the next 2 to 3 years, he will lose his pace. And he will not be the same player anymore because Rashford is about that. Runaway on Netflix is 10 out of 10, Mark. I watched it, Evan. It's Harlan Coben, isn't it? And I heard a great description of Harlan Coben. I used to quite like them a few years ago. But I would call them panther crimes. Some of the acting in it is a bit shit. Do you think Man United will make any big money signings, says Felix? In the summer, yeah. Back four for England in the World Cup, says Detroit. Well, I think it's got to be Lewis Hall or O'Reilly at left back. I think they're the two best left backs. You can't go back to Luke Shaw. That would be silly. He's not quick enough anymore either. Right back. Who is England's right back? Probably Reece James. Centre backs. Gahey, Konza, Stones. One of those two, yeah. Yeah, it's funny how Trent doesn't get mentioned in that, but I don't know. Trent and England's never been a good relationship, has it really? So I'd go Reece James over Trent. You should watch Deadwood, 3 seasons and a movie, one of the best Western TV shows ever made, says Mr. I did start watching Deadwood, actually, and I stopped. Poor start from Liverpool, really, considering they're their home team. But then again, I suppose Newcastle, you've been to Paris and you've kept them out. You probably don't feel too bothered about Liverpool. Harvey Barnes, free kick on the edge. He's got to give it, and he has. Again, just, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised, but again, just very, very disappointing from Liverpool. Right, let's see what happens with this. Need to have the old firm in March on live, says Gregor. You should try Anime Mark, says Asta. I always think that's porn. Well, it's Trippier. Trippier can score a free kick. Definitely can. Good free kick. Good save by Alisson. Harvey Barnes actually hit it. Sorry, I'd lost the live chat there. Would you ever go on SAS Who Dares Win, says Chris? Well, having never watched it, I think that would be me saying yes to something I don't really know much about. Sorry, I thought Alisson saved that. Is it the bloody post? Newcastle deserve to be in front here. They really do. Better side. I mean, look, I would say, as much as they're our biggest rival, Liverpool fans aren't bloody stupid. And they will be as critical of this as maybe we are. Probably worse. This is a shit start by Liverpool. Absolutely shit. And Newcastle, who you'd think might be... I mean, this is just great news if you're a Chelsea fan. It's brilliant watching it as a United fan. You just can't see Liverpool getting anywhere near the Champions League spots. They're so bad. And I don't know what it is with the players. I mean, look, there's a multitude of reasons why Liverpool might be bad. Dan Burn nearly scoring there. There's a multitude of reasons why Liverpool could be bad, but the reality is they're bad. I cannot believe Birmingham City have spent more money in the January transfer window than Man United. Shocking, but not a surprise. Newcastle to win, says Midri. And Jade says, another good show is Paradise. It's on Disney Plus and won some good awards. I've heard about this show called Heated Rivalry. It's got massive positive reviews. But is it not about ice hockey players who basically get it on? Which... I'm sorry, I just don't know that that's my cup of tea. White Lotus, I've seen it, yeah. I don't know whether we watched season 3. Definitely watched the first 2. How is it that Dutch players are in such demand in leagues, more the Premier League, but then can never translate that to the national team? Says Spires. Well, I think Dutch football's fell off anyway. I mean, nobody's talking about the Dutch side winning the World Cup. DBX says Liverpool's tempo and pressing is shocking so far. Mate, this is... I've seen Liverpool play a lot this season and this is awful. Awful. I've seen Yellowstone, Jay. Brilliant. Do you think that was... I thought Konate got the ball on that. Maybe he went through the player first, but I don't know whether I'd have given it... Did he get booked for it as well? Good cross by Trippier. Szoboszlai gets it away. There's just zero goal threat from Liverpool so far. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to do it scrappy. What do we add? Half an hour. Liverpool getting dominated at home, says Daz. Mate, all I'm going to say is watch out for next weekend. You've got Man City coming to Anfield on the Sunday. And I think it could be bad for Liverpool, that. Would have bet Liverpool to win the league in August as United nicked. Well, everybody did. Wirtz didn't fancy that tackle, did he? See, this is what I mean. It's like, it's not just about what you do on the ball. You've got to want it in the Premier League. You've got to be physical. You've got to be intense. Look at Anthony Gordon. He's a bloody winger and he gets involved in tackles. Hi, Mark. Do you think the biggest issue for Liverpool is the squad or the manager? I mean, I don't legitimately know. Great tackle by Lewis Hall there. He's off the ground, but he wins the ball. Nothing malicious about that. Attack on Titan is the best TV, says David. Thank you very much for your super chats. Yeah, I think everybody went with Liverpool winning the league. You win the league and you buy the players they've bought and you'd think, yeah, they're going to be very good. The drop-off is incredible. And it's benefited Manchester United massively because when I was looking at, I didn't put United in the top 5 this year because automatically you'd say top 4 from last year, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, they've all spent really well. No one's going to lay a glove on them. But Liverpool's decline has done it. And obviously Villa have stepped in as well. Fair play. Ekatike, good save by Pope. First real chance. You wouldn't have expected him to score from there, to be honest. Pope did well. But that might give them a little bit of confidence. Well cleared by Trippier. They've got a corner here. Thoughts on the film Brokeback Mountain? I mean, I have seen it. I mean, I don't know. What do you want me to say? TK says, Crystal Palace fan here. Any chance that Crystal Palace get relegated? Well, I do think that we will have a high points tally this year for relegation. West Ham showed today that they can win games of football. And I think they will. And Leeds have shown that. So, I mean, 28 points in January, you should be absolutely fine. Because traditionally, 40 points and you stay up. In fact, the last few seasons, 35 points and you stay up. But I feel like there might be might be a high points tally to go down this year. Too slow, Liverpool, isn't it? Not enough intensity in the press, not enough speed in the movement. Nice ball out to Salah. Good first touch. What's he got? Into Pope's hands. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Decent attempt at a cross by Salah, but not causing anybody any problems. My dad is turning 50 soon. Can you say congratulations to your dad? I can do. I wish I knew where my bloody pen was. I mean, not that I need to write it down. Bing bong. Thank you, your dad. Your dad is called Dag. Happy 50th. Congratulations. Newcastle with a bit of a break. Canate reads it well. That's irritating. I've always had a bad relationship with pens. They do go missing. And there's no reasonable explanation for it. And I actually do need a pen. I'll use that. Gold pen. That is annoying. Not where it is. Anyway, we move on. Play on. Play on. Is it a training issue for Liverpool? Done that one from John. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Liverpool, really. Still thinking about the pen. Bit of space here. Newcastle. Lewis Hall's made a good run into Harvey Barnes. Still finds its way to Anthony Gordon. Goal! 1-0. 1-0 Newcastle, and thoroughly deserved. Thoroughly deserved. It's been coming. It's been coming. The reality is, look, Liverpool fans aren't stupid. What you're watching is shit. Like, I said this last week when you lost to Bournemouth. The cold, harsh reality is you've been playing like this all season and it's not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not going to get Champions League football. And some people think, oh, why would I jinx it? Like, I genuinely, if I was worried in any way, shape or form, I'd keep my gob shut. But you're just not very good. Kirkez again, he's a terrible signing. And Anthony Gordon here, it's just good. Look, gets it out of his feet, shoots through his legs. I mean, Kirkez there, this is a guy in the box taking a touch and getting a shot off. It's crap. This is Premier League defending. He's received it, took a touch, and then had a shot. Terrible. Lovely goal by Anthony Gordon. Yeah, he's been a shocking signing. But look, you can't blame Kirkez. You can blame Kirkez for the goal, but you can't blame Kirkez from the fact that Harvey Barnes hit the post. Newcastle have been the better team. They've had numerous chances. Liverpool are too slow. They don't have any patterns of play. They don't have any chemistry. They don't have any rhythm. The last few years, I've been used to watching Liverpool suffocate the life out of teams, dominate teams. That's lovely play. That is lovely play, but it goes out for a corner. Better from Liverpool there. What do you think of what Gordon said in his press conference? Is the Premier League just too difficult at this stage that it's somewhat a bit boring? I don't know what he said, Spires. You have to let me know. Do you want Liverpool to sack Slot? No. I mean, look, I can observe it from a that's football point of view and say it's not going to get any better. But from a Man United point of view, I don't want Liverpool to get rid of Slot, because what if they got rid of Slot and suddenly started playing well? Ekatike's gone down. I can't see a penalty there. Best result for United's a draw. You don't want Newcastle to suddenly be going on a winning streak. Lovely ball into Anthony Gordon again. He works quite well in that striking role, doesn't he? The thing about Newcastle is they've just got so much energy. So much more energy, so much more intensity. It's embarrassing from Liverpool. Here's Salah, though. Got a bit of a space. Well done, Lewis Hall. Salah again. Puts the cross in. And Dan Burn. No. Headed away by Trippier. Ekatike. Still got it. Looking into the box. Szoboszlai. Do not let him shoot. Salah. Pope makes the save. Could have been offside. Offside he was. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Yeah, so 1-0 to Liverpool. 1-0 to Newcastle, sorry, and thoroughly deserved so far. Definitely the better side. Trouble with Liverpool as well is you look at their bench and it doesn't really fill you with inspiration at all. Chiesa, Endo, Jones, Narlo, Rio, Enyonyi, Ramsey, Robertson. I mean, you look at Newcastle's bench: Botman, Miley, Murphy, Asula, Ramsdale, Shahar, Wizza, Voltameda. And they've got Bruno G, Joel Linton to come back, of course. Gravenberch, Wirtz, good feet, good cut back, goal. That was good from Wirtz, to be fair. Annoying, but good. Ekatike scores, but it was good from Wirtz. Shit. Yeah, it's typical though, isn't it? Newcastle have been the better team. They concede, and then Liverpool decide to go up a gear. Still don't think they're very good, but they have reacted. Yeah, it came loose. Finds its way to Wirtz. He just does really well here, Wirtz. Intelligent play. Cuts it back to Ekitike. Yeah, there you go. Well, maybe we've spoken too soon about Liverpool here, because Newcastle have started off very well, but ultimately it's going to be 1-1 at half-time. Have you seen Chernobyl on HBO? I watched it recently. Hands down, one of the best things I've watched. Has that been out for a while, Ali? Because I think I did watch it a couple of years ago. Ooh, Newcastle in again there. Corner. Good play by Van Dijk. Enter. I tell you, got a good game, though. Open game. Newcastle will be pissed off with that, though. You get yourself in front, you deserve to be in front, and then you just can't keep Liverpool out till half-time. But we've got a corner to Newcastle. Tonali, good. Alisson's there. Going to go out for a goal kick. Ekitike, how's he got so much space here? It's got to be close. Whoa, what a goal. What a goal by Ekitike. I mean, I've been a big fan of Tau at Newcastle, but he's been absolutely mugged off. You've got to say that's a really good goal. And that's what a striker can do in a team. I mean, Liverpool have not been good here, and they lead 2-1. And you've got to say that that's just fantastic. Individualistic. It's Kirkes with the ball. I don't know how Newcastle leave themselves in this situation, but there's a lot of work for Ekitike to do here. And Tau shows him the line, and then he's not quick enough to get across. And he's got that wrong defensively. He's trusted his pace, and Ekitike's done him. Just how quickly a game can change there. Fantastic striker play by Ekitike. And, wow. They've turned the game on their head here, Liverpool. Have I spoken too soon? Well, we've had some good games to watch. And Liverpool lead 2-1 here. Turn the game on its head. Absolutely. In 5 minutes, we've gone from snooze to exciting, says Tujvan. Wirtz and Ekitike duo up there with Son and Kane, says Jade. Funny seeing Mark's Bruno's the best 10 in the league vanish into thin air, says Danny. I don't know what you're talking about, Danny. I mean, Wirtz turns up for one bit of play and he's suddenly better than Bruno. Yeah, try and do it every week, mate, for about 5 years, then we'll talk. Man United under pressure tomorrow to win, says Nicholas. Nah, a long way to go in this game. I think Eddie Howe would be saying to his players at half-time, what the hell's gone on there? We've been the better side. How are we losing this game? I mean, Liverpool have been really poor, but 2 good moments from Ekitike and Wirtz have got them back in front. And playing with some swagger now. Football, funny old game, innit? That's why you can't get too carried away. Corner to Liverpool. And Ekitike got on the end of it, but nothing going there. Can see why Szoboszlai is not a right back, says DBX. Well, we've had 5 minutes added on here. How gutted do you look, says John. Wow, mate, I'm not gonna hide the fact that I don't want Liverpool to catch us in the Champions League, and up until that Ekitike goal, they looked absolutely shit. But I'm a bit shocked, to be honest. But is this not the beauty of football? Look, I said it was a brilliant goal by Ekitike, and I said it was good play by Wirtz. It's not like I'm pretending they were offside or anything like that. Thing is, Mark, Wirtz is still just adjusting. 10 whole team has been poor all season. He's a talent, and you know that, says Jake. Look, I think Kirkes was brilliant last season. Him and Anthony Robinson were the best two left backs in the league. But I know a few Liverpool fans, and they agree with me about this. Andy Robertson is better than Kirkes, and I know the future is Kirkes. But at a time where you desperately need Champions League football, I'd be focusing on that more than developing Kirkes. Great Saturday for the Prem. Sunday bound to be crap, says ZMP. I mean, look, he cost you a goal. What if Ekitike doesn't do that and you lose? That's on Kirkes, and I think that's on Slot. Yes, Kirkes is a good player, and he might take a little bit of time to adjust. Look, Fabinho's first season in the Premier League wasn't great. He was brilliant after that. Gravenberch, first season in the Premier League, wasn't great. Every time I watch Andy Robertson, he's still better than Kirkes, but he sticks with Kirkes, and he costs you a lot of goals. But Liverpool have done well to turn this around. I won't lie. Anfield atmosphere is fine now. Is fire now, says Norax. Well, somebody was saying to me yesterday, you can't rule Liverpool out of winning the Champions League simply because of the Anfield crowd. McAllister's flicked header just goes over the bar. Look, I look at Liverpool's bench. I don't see a team that's capable of getting Champions League football this season. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I said about Liverpool last year, before Christmas, that they were going to win the league, and I was right. I said Arsenal would win the league before a ball was kicked. I was right. I might be wrong. Mark, can't believe the news that you're in the episode. Oh, God, Peter. Can we just move on from something that I just don't know anything about? It's boring. It's not even funny because I don't actually know much about that thing. So, ha, 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 hilarious, mate. Can we talk about football or something that's actually half funny? Players to come back, says Dutchy. Who have Liverpool got to come back? Isak. Who else have you got to come back? Frimpong, who's only just got injured. Do you look at Chelsea and United and see Champions League football? Because I don't, says Alison Becker. It's a fair point. I mean, look, a lot depends on what Man United do in their next 3 games. I feel that the new manager bounce is going to bounce for a bit. It's a bit like when Ollie came in. I think that Man United are a team of light switch players, and the lights are on at the moment, and they're enjoying being in the spotlight. So I think I think it's going to go for a bit. And by the time it comes off, I think we'll have accumulated a lot of wins, which is why it's important that teams like Liverpool drop points and Chelsea, because I think the wheels will come off at some point. But by that point, I hope we've got a bit of a gap. I don't want Liverpool and Chelsea to start winning every week when we're winning every week, because at some point, I think the wheels will come off. But I project that won't be till March. We've got Fulham at home, Spurs at home, West Ham away, and we've got, and then I think we've got Everton away. So I think we might win all 4 of those. Becky, hi Mark, thank you for keeping me going. Husband Gary's still in hospital but on the mend, and Ekatike is the only best signing we got last summer, says Becky. Oh, he's been a fantastic signing for Liverpool. Absolutely spot on, Becky. First and foremost though, best wishes and hope you get well soon to Gary. I hope you're both doing quite well. But yeah, I think Ekatike across the season, I think Szoboszlai has been Liverpool's best player, but I think Ekatike has been a good signing for Liverpool. I don't know how many goals he's scored, but for a young player, he has shouldered the burden of scoring the goals for Liverpool. When Isak's been injured and out of form and Salah's fell off, Ekatike's been your best player in the attacking sense, yeah. Gaming Kid says, stop being so biased. It's so negative towards Liverpool. Mate, that's football. I've been very respectful of Liverpool over the years, but I can't change the fact that I'm a Man United fan, and I'm not going to totally not be biased. And I think everybody knows that. Anyway, we're at half-time. It's 2-1. As you can see, statistically, you'd say, well, Liverpool deserve it. But I don't think that does tell the whole story of the game. 8 corners to 3 for Newcastle. They haven't had the possession. Liverpool have had more shots on target. They've had better pass rate. But Newcastle, the way that they're playing, I think they'll feel quite disappointed to be 2-1 down at half-time. But credit where credit's due. Ekatike has turned the game on its head, and it's going to make for a very interesting second half. Maybe that's why Newcastle are where they are. When you look at the league table at the moment, maybe that's why Newcastle are where they are, because I've seen Newcastle play a few times this season. Chelsea at St James's Park. I don't know how they didn't win. They drew. Man United, Boxing Day. I think we beat them, didn't we? I think we did beat them. They probably should have beat us. So I think Newcastle this season, I mean, look at where they are. They're in 10th. They don't kill games at the time they probably should kill games. And that's probably a fair reflection of where they are. But look at Liverpool, as things stand. If they can win this game, they put us down to 6th. Now, obviously, if we beat Fulham tomorrow, that's great. But you're back where you were this morning. So, look, that's the challenge. Can Liverpool get over the line? I think Newcastle are good. And they've got a chance. If Ekatike was English, I would start him in the World Cup over Kane. Oh, mate, you're talking shite. Ekatike's been good. However, we're talking about Harry Kane here. Mr. Connor9 says, does Liverpool winning the transfer window and being poor this season show the transfer window is overrated? As Ferguson used to say, would you still have taken that window for United last summer? I mean, there is a bit of a... You raise a good point. I mean, I've seen Tottenham win the transfer window and be shit. I think West Ham won the transfer window, didn't they? A couple of years ago. They were shit. So, look, winning the transfer window... There's a fine line between buying good players and buying too many players. I think when you look at the recruitment of Man City, it's been very, very good. Donnarumma, Cherki, they've bought really, really well. I think when you look at the recruitment of Arsenal, fantastic. They've basically built a squad. Liverpool's problem, I think, was the volume of change and the drop-off of players. When you look at Liverpool, the side that won the league, Andy Robertson hardly plays anymore. Trent's gone. Van Dijk's fell off. Salah's fell off. Diaz has gone. Obviously, the tragedy of what happened with Jota, that's 7 players gone from that team that won the league, or not the players they were last year. That's without mentioning Alexis McAllister had a bad start to the season. So I think you can blame it on the signings, but a lot of the players from last season either aren't here or aren't the players they were. So I think that's something that you have to factor in as well. And also, Isak, basically, you spent £100 million on a player that's hardly going to kick a ball all season. Frimpong's also been injured a lot as well. So out of the new signings, Kirkez is struggling a little bit, but probably will be a good player in the future. Wirtz has took a bit of time to adjust. Ekatike's done very well. Isak and Frimpong have been injured a lot. And I think, more importantly, the signing that probably would have been the player that hit the ground running straight away, you didn't get. Like Gahey would have hit the ground running straight away in a key position as well. So, but look, maybe I'm wrong about Liverpool. Maybe they can fight for Champions League football. I mean, they certainly fought from going 1-0 down to Newcastle, and at some point you do feel that they can't be this bad all season. But they will be bad this season if they're not playing for the manager. But then they've responded to going 1-0 down there. I don't think it's as easy. I don't think it's as, and I think the board at Liverpool will feel this as well. I don't think it's as simple as saying the players aren't playing for the manager, because sometimes you think that, and then at other times you think, well, if they weren't playing for the manager, why have they gone and done that? I think there's more of a bigger picture. I've always said with Liverpool this year, it feels to me like it's a culmination of things. I don't think it's one thing. We've mentioned Jota, and that would have a big impact, but I don't think it's just that. I think Van Dijk and Salah have fell off. Andy Robertson doesn't play as much. Trent's not here anymore. Diaz was a very important player. He's gone. The new signings having to adjust. There's a lot of reasons why I think Liverpool aren't the team they were last season. The question is, how do they get back? It's unthinkable to think of Liverpool to not be in the Champions League. Gerrard's sorted his hair out, I think. Definitely got a better colour in there now. Looked terrible the other week. Why don't you think Liverpool will get top Champions League football? Basically because of everything up until they equalised. I thought the first half an hour for a game at Anfield, really slow, really lacked intensity, and Newcastle were just far more hungrier, and that's strange. And then when it goes to 1-0, they suddenly flick a switch, and you think, well, what if they flick that switch? Then maybe they can do, but they do seem to struggle to flick. They seem to give everybody a game. You think about Bournemouth last week. Bournemouth deserved that. You think about the 2 games against Leeds that they drew. Leeds deserved that. And Liverpool just seemed to give everybody a chance. And look, 100% credit to be 2-1 up. But that first half an hour was very poor. And that's why I don't think they'll get Champions League football. And I have watched a lot of Liverpool this season, and they do give everybody a chance. But I've got to admit, I've always felt there would be a point when they'd suddenly switch and start playing really well. They're so hard. They're so hard to predict, Liverpool, aren't they? Mark, you know more about teams' finances than the average fan. Do you think Elise, Diamonde, Wharton, some centre-back coming in with Salah makes Liverpool go all the way realistic? I don't know much about Liverpool's finances. I mean, I do think Elise is the dream. If you're asking me who should replace Salah, Elise is the best right winger in Europe, in my opinion. I think he'd be a perfect replacement, and I hope it doesn't happen. Whether Liverpool have got the finances to do that, I don't know. I don't think Liverpool are after Wharton from what the update was in the week. They need a really good centre-back, Liverpool. Canate, I mean, I don't know it's not my business. I don't know what Liverpool fans think, but you booed Trent, who came through your youth system, for running his contract down to go to Real Madrid. And I presume that's what Canate is doing, because we're into February now. I don't know. But I think you probably need a centre-back that's ready to go. How do you think this will go in the second half? Tough to predict. Very, very tough to predict. Newcastle were really good for half an hour, but have they? The thing about Newcastle as well is they don't score enough goals. They don't. Like Newcastle can look very good, like they did against us, but they didn't. They lost. They look very good against Chelsea, but they drew. Newcastle don't score enough goals. They've scored 33 goals this season. That's crap. Man United have scored 41. Chelsea have scored 42. So they don't score enough goals and they concede a lot of goals. So it's whether Newcastle can come back. As for Liverpool, that third goal's the key. Depends how they approach the second half. I mean, Slot might say, let's sit in a little bit here. Let's not be too pragmatic. Let's be pragmatic. Tommy says, did you sneak in a trump? No. Van Dijk's actually been good this season. If it was any other centre-back, people would be praising him. But because it's Van Dijk, his previous high standards mean every little mistake gets blown out of proportion. Says 97 and... 97, you'll never walk alone, 97. I mean, Van Dijk's debatable to be one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League history. I mean, he's definitely not at the standard he should be at. And there's been a lot of goals that he's been responsible for. Even last week against Bournemouth. But you're probably right. The standard that he plays on is still probably very high. But is it the standard you expect from Van Dijk? Probably not this season. I think he's been better than Salah, who's... I mean, look, I've always been somebody that's been very defensive of Salah, even though he's a Liverpool player. I just think he's been underrated through his career. I think he's been ridiculously consistent. I think his numbers are incredible. But you also can't argue with the fact that he's just not at the level that he has been at the last few years. And I think that's just natural decline. It's probably a lot to do with pace as well. And he's, I wouldn't say he's unrecognisable. He's just not the player that he was before. Mark, apparently Harry Amas has sustained a serious injury. What's your favourite ever United shirt? Well, probably that one behind me. There, that one. Maresca is a genius, says Max. Don't know what we're talking about Maresca for. Just catching up on your super chats. Thanks, everybody. Hope United sign another attacker, says Snyder. Bringing Cunha and Sesko off the bench made us look so strong. 08-09 had Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, Berbatov plus Welbeck and Makeda. Depth wins titles. Thank you very much. Jakey boy, have a defence like Arsenal or attack like Bayern? Definitely take the attack. Yeah, definitely take the attack. Yeah, well, I agree with Stephen. Virgil does 9% of Liverpool's defending on his own. He doesn't make mistakes. He gets caught out covering. Well, no, I mean, look, come on. I think even the most staunch Liverpool fan would have to point out a few mistakes by Van Dijk this season. I mean, I can think of a couple where he's backed off and turned his back on people shooting. Look at the Bournemouth game last week where he doesn't deal with it. I mean, there has been a drop-off from Van Dijk. And, I mean, look at his age as well. It's natural. So... I don't think there's a problem with that. The bigger issue, you're right though. Van Dijk naturally is going to start dropping off. Nothing ever lasts forever. But the biggest issue was not buying Guehi. That would have been a massive difference to Liverpool. Guehi is a fantastic player, and he's ready to take that step. And he wanted to come to Liverpool, but Crystal Palace sort of did your legs, and then you didn't want to pay the money for him in January because Man City can afford it. So Liverpool, it's not Van Dijk why Liverpool are where they are. It's the lack of signing a centre-back to go into that area with Van Dijk that's caused the problem. The drop-off of Salah, obviously, in relation to goals and assists, is going to hurt you. Whether you think Salah's dropped off or not, those goals and assists were relentlessly consistent for many years, and they were numerous, and they're not there this year. You can literally look at the Liverpool side and make it as deep or as shallow as you want. And you could say, in a shallow sense, what are we looking at here? Oh no, it's the goal. In a shallow sense, well, if you lose Salah's goals and assists and they're not as defensively strong, that's hurting you in both areas. Lovely goal by Ekitike. Rosenior is a genius, says Max. I like Rosenior. I like Rosenior. Did a video on this channel on Thursday saying it's ridiculous how much he's being ridiculed and laughed at and joked about. Right, second half. Let's see what happens here. Newcastle going to have to come from behind. Liverpool need 3 points. Let's get the stats carousel rolling around. But the league table looks good for Liverpool at the moment. If they can get the 3 points here, they know they've got some difficult games. Next Sunday at Anfield, they play Man City. And the following Wednesday, they go to unbeaten Sunderland. So, very important Liverpool get 3 points here because based on stats, they won't win at Sunderland, which will be drop points. And Man City are in a title race. So, very important for Liverpool to get the points here. They lead 2-1 at half-time and we're up and running. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved. Chris says, there's not been a drop-off from Van Dijk. There's been a drop-off from Liverpool. Konate and Van Dijk are fine, but the team shape stretches them too much. Ekatike on a hat-trick. Whatever happens in this Champions League race, though, for Chelsea and Man United, we do need Liverpool to drop points in these next 3 games because it doesn't matter who you are. Arsenal, Leeds, Newcastle, Man City and Sunderland. They're 3 tough games. Mark, Bruno's latest post on Insta gives me he's leaving this summer vibe, says Kev. I'll have a look. And Mark, my good friend Fabio gets on his hands and knees to wipe and swears by it. Worth a try, says Peter. A terrifying thought. So, what am I meant to be looking at here? Bruno. Yes. Yeah, I have. Numerous times. I was very young. I wasn't like under 10, and they were definitely under 10. Have I ever gone back into a relationship when I broke? God, otherwise. Bruno. God, he posts a lot of fucking stuff on his Instagram, doesn't he? Who is he? Angry Ginge? Six years and counting. I don't think that's any reason to think he's leaving. Chelsea have a poor discipline record and it's going to cost them, says Jay. Well, I think Caicedo is on... Can anyone answer me this question, actually? Caicedo's on 7 yellow cards. He's clearly going to get 10. Do you get a 1-match ban or 2? Would you say Ekatike is better than Sesko? He's had a better first season in the Premier League than Sesko. So if you're doing it on that basis, yes. Yeah, you get a 2-match ban. No, I'm just thinking we've got to play Chelsea in April. So if he can get himself suspended sort of late March, we'll probably get away with that. Do I think Chelsea will win at the Emirates? I mean, we're doing that as a watch-along on Tuesday night. I'm looking forward to it. 3-2 to Arsenal. Chelsea will have to go for it a little bit. Should be a good game. Can you say hello to my little girl Ava, says Mick Red. Hello, Ava. Hope you're enjoying it. I read Kenda has been world class this season, says Nicholas. When does he go to Chelsea? In the summer? Yeah, but it's another thing about Chelsea is it's another young player, isn't it? They did do very well today, but I'm still never going to shut up. Chelsea are crying out for an experienced striker, an experienced centre-back and an experienced goalkeeper. Peter is a liar, says Fabio. What's Peter said? Oh, yeah, from Fabio, yeah. Alanga is awful and Ricky wanted him back. He's got nothing to offer, just pace, says Thomas. Well, somebody said to me, is Alanga the flop nobody's talking about? And I just wonder with Alanga whether he's a system-specific player. Like, Ekatike's in again. Oh, what a bad miss. What a bad miss. I don't know what he's doing there. I think he's got he sort of does a brain wipe himself. Dan Burn gets caught out. Ekatike's running in on the angle. And he shoots with the inside of his foot from the right side of the goal, when really you'd use your outside of the foot or use the left foot. He just gets his feet wrong. That could have been the hat-trick. That's a big chance. Yeah, he's just gone with the wrong foot there. Should have gone with the outside of his foot as well. Yeah, but with Alanga, when you look at Forest last season, deep, deep, deep counter into space. At United, we very rarely get to counter against teams. It's normally low blocks, so didn't really stand out. And at Newcastle, again, it's a step up, so you don't necessarily get to counter a lot. So maybe Alanga suits the West Hams, the Forest, the Crystal Palace, where you can counter with pace. And maybe it doesn't suit the possession-based teams that have to play against low blocks. Because Newcastle do have to play against low blocks a lot. Obviously, games like this, there might be some space on the break, but predominantly when you're playing the Brightons, the Palaces, they respect Newcastle and will play a little bit more defensive. Mr. El-Shamari says, I haven't watched Driving with Goldbridge yet. I'll watch it after the game. Yeah, please do, mate. Thank you very much. Have you seen the Bayern game, says King? No, they drew with Hamburg, though, didn't they? Another 1 point from 6. Still think Newcastle could get back into this, though. I think Liverpool might need the third goal. Not a bad cross by Alanga. Comes to the edge of the box. Trippier, little left foot. Good ball. Canate does well. Alanga must have been offside. Alisson, brave goalkeeping. Verts clears it away. Newcastle need Voltemeda. Well, they'll probably bring him on for crosses at some point. Tonali versus McAllister, says Alec Miller. What, either or? Presume that's what I'll do it for you, mate, even if that's not what you meant. Either or. Hope you're doing well, Mark. Thoughts on our 4-0 win against Leeds, says Existence. Look, it was a hard game to watch. 4-0. It was a hard game to watch. Leeds offered very little. Arsenal did the job. But as I said before, if Arsenal had drawn that game or lost that game, that's pivotal in the title race. That is a must-win game for Arsenal. So people can criticise them for the way they play, blah, blah, blah. The harsh reality is that that is a superb result for Arsenal and to boost your goal difference. So I think if you're an Arsenal fan tonight, you're thinking, look, up yours with your criticism. We're 7 points clear at the top. We've taken 2 points from our previous 9. Big 3 points away. Let's see what Spurs and Man City do tomorrow, you know. Which team plays the best style in the Prem, says Java? I think, in my opinion, Man City have played the best football this season. You can get at them, but I think they've been the most entertaining team to watch. The most effective style of play is Arsenal's, because they're top of the league. Gakpo always likes to come inside. Shoots wide. .50-50 on McAllister and Tonali. Obviously a very good either or there from Alec. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with Alexi McAllister. I thought he was absolutely fantastic last season. Has dropped off a little bit. Salah playing is depressing. Yeah, I mean, look, it might sound weird as a Man United fan, but it is depressing to see Salah like that. I think most football fans do appreciate quality. You know, Thierry Henry got on my tits as a United fan, but there was no doubt in what a fantastic player he was. Half a chance there for Elanga, but he was offside. You know, same with the likes of Gerrard, Drogba, Lampard. You know, we know they're quality players, even if they're playing for rivals. And Salah has been a great of the Premier League era, of the Premier League in general. And we can all see it. I mean, I think for the first couple of months of the season, I just thought it was a bad patch and he would come back. I mean, look, never say never, but does anybody actually think Salah's coming back? I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I think it's highly unlikely. Because it's been going on for too long. And I don't think he's doing it on purpose. Tell you what, I'm struggling to see. Do it this way. Hearts are 2-0 up against Dundee. And Dundee are down to 10 men. That's a good result for Hearts there. Especially considering Dundee are a mid-table team. Surely Hearts won't win the unpopular opinion. We'd be 13th now if Ruben stayed, says Hamza. I think it isn't bullshit opinion, to be honest, but you're entitled to it. Ekateke doesn't have a left foot, always uses his right, says Max. Well, there's a good free kick position here, and I'll be quiet because it's Szoboszlai, who is arguably one of the best free kick takers in the world. So let's see what he can do. He dinks it. And Van Dijk heads it towards Pope. What happened to the midweek Bundesliga highlights? You know what happened to them? Over Christmas, I got too busy and I couldn't do it. And then I think when you missed a couple of weeks, I'm like... Hearts are at the top of the Scottish League at the moment, yes. Badman says Gakpo's a two-trick pony. It's horrible. Look, I don't mind Gakpo. But... there's not a lot Liverpool can do in relation to Luis Diaz wanting to leave. And he did want to leave. But Luis Diaz is... I mean, I don't know whether people really appreciated how good he was. And I'm not saying he's Mo Salah good, but he is a very, very good player. And Gakpo certainly isn't a like-for-like replacement. And Diaz, again, when you're losing Salah's goals and assists... Luis Diaz does add goals and assists. So they've lost a lot this season. Ekatike is providing more goals than maybe a Núñez was, but they've lost that. They've lost two wide players, really, haven't they? Two very important wide players. But Liverpool, there's not a lot Liverpool can do when Diaz wanted to go. Like, he wanted to go. I don't think Liverpool wanted him to go. Yellow card for McAllister there. Do you think we've got a chance against City tomorrow, says Liam? Do you want to have a chance against City tomorrow? The thing is about Spurs is I'm hearing things about let's lose on purpose, but I wouldn't be losing on purpose. 28 points. You're not that far off relegation. Stranger things have happened. Where did Darwin Núñez go, Barrack? Did he go Saudi? I always thought Darwin Núñez would do better than he did. Oh, what a save that was from Alisson. Fell to Harvey Barnes. He smashed it low. And that was a top save. Mr. Sitter in Paris, but he didn't hit that badly at all. I don't know whether there was an offside in it, but he's hit it very well. And I tell you what, this is why Onana was shit. Look at the way he gets it out of danger as well, because Gordon was following up, but I think there was an offside anyway. I'm tempted to say I think Liverpool might need a third to win this game, but not necessarily. McAllister's gone down injured again. You just can't trust the fact that he's genuinely injured. Great play by Gravenberch. McAllister is still down here. Nice ball into Gakpo. Good tackle by, is that Tau? Why does Botman stop? Why does Botman not start for Newcastle? Is he being rotated or is he just not good anymore? Because lovely ball into Hall. That was a push in the back by Szoboszlai, but he's going to get away with it. Ekadike doesn't have a left foot, always uses his right, says Max. Thank you. Jay says, what a great game. It has got a free flow to it. It's a bit like Chelsea-West Ham. They've both been good games, to be fair. Salah with a bit of space. Rolls it into Wirtz, who does well. And then loses it. Badman says Rio deserves more chance against the low block. Someone just said, Thuck says Liverpool are parking the bus. They're literally on the halfway line here with a high line, so I don't think they're doing that. Maybe a little bit later. Does a Newcastle win or a draw benefit United, says Alec? I think ideally a draw. Or a Newcastle win. Maybe a Newcastle win. I don't know. I'd have to look at the table when it comes round again. I felt a draw was the best result. Newcastle with another 3 points would have 36 and Liverpool would be on 36. So I suppose it's technically better that Newcastle win because they're both on 36, whereas if they draw, Liverpool are on 37. Jay's just had a shower. Breaking news. Salah needs to leave Liverpool. Well, you do sort of have a... I've seen a lot of people talking about Salah. And, you know, that outburst after the Leeds game at Elland Road was difficult to consume because he has been a great and he was a bit out of order. He goes off to the AFCON. They obviously resolve it. And he's back playing again. However, I don't necessarily agree with Slot dropping him. But it's clearly a problem if he does drop him. Because Salah feels disrespected. The team didn't really respond to him being dropped. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because Salah's performances don't justify him starting and playing 90 minutes every single week. But without him, they don't necessarily play any better anyway. And drop him for who, says Fizzy, yeah. Thoughts on Lewis Hall making the World Cup squad? Well, he definitely should do. I think he's been very good this season. Although Canate did well there. Do you think Canate will sign a new contract? I don't know. Oh, Gakpo's got a bit of space here. He's got to be looking at Szoboszlai if he can. Too many touches. Too many touches. Still got it though. Lays it off to McAllister. Gravenberch shoots and over the bar. Mispa says Newcastle need to find an equaliser ASAP. Well, I've seen Newcastle, Chelsea against us better than us, but couldn't find the back of the net. They're not distinctively better than Liverpool here. And they haven't created an awful lot. I think Chiesa's been treated so badly at Liverpool since Evan Whelan. Chiesa's a funny one. I mean, I loved Chiesa when he was playing in Serie A, and I think if I'd heard that Chiesa was coming to the Premier League, I would have thought, wow, what an exciting player. Lovely ball over the top. But Pope is there. Does this put a bit of pressure on United? We're at Old Trafford against Fulham. Not everything's going to go your way. The Premier League's been pretty poor this year. People are dropping points all over the place. I would expect in the second half of the season, people start to feel the jeopardy and start to pick up wins. Chelsea's comeback was fantastic today. Liverpool have come back and are winning at the moment. Look, there's going to be... The stakes are high. Champions League football's up for grabs. So you've got to understand that pressure. And I think we'll be all right against Fulham. I'm not saying we're going to win every game between now and the end of the season because that's highly unlikely, but what's your top 3 lager beers in the UK, says Spy? I mean, I'm not really a beer snob. I like Asahi. Here's Wirtz. He might shoot. No, it goes to Salah. Lays it off to Wirtz. What a goal. What a goal. Brilliant. Goal and assist for Wirtz, starting to find his form. People were writing him off. I did say he will get good at some point because he's too good a player to be shit. Salah with the assist. Lovely play by Wirtz. Game over. Brilliant performance from Liverpool from going 1-0 down. Begrudging respect. More like Liverpool of old there. The way that they carved Newcastle open and well, that finish is better than it needed to be. Not only has he scored, he's put it in the bottom corner off the post. Very good play. Nice ball into Salah. Burn. I don't know what Burn was doing there. He's left him, but look at the finish. Perfect. Actually, to be fair, I think it did need to be there because Nick Pope probably would have saved it. Well, no, even then he could have. Yeah, it's a very good finish. There we go. Best 10 in the league, says Danny on the gas. Mark, we play with 10 players when Delap plays, says Nicholas. Thank you so much. That's probably it for Newcastle. And it's the story of their season, really. They've just... At times they've been good, but they don't bring the result. Are Liverpool back? Well, I said you were back after the Marseille game, and then you went and lost to Bournemouth. So I wouldn't say... Look, you've got Man City next. If they go, I tell you what, if Liverpool beat Man City next Sunday, and a lot of Arsenal fans will be hoping you do, Liverpool beat Man City, I'll start to panic. Because what worries me is when teams like Liverpool start winning regularly and playing well. And they're on the break here. And Salah showing a bit of pace. Oh, I tell you what, he did get... I tell you what, he showed a bit of pace there, Mo Salah, didn't he? He did show some pace there against Lewis Hall, who's not slow. Another chance. Looking at Liverpool this second half, though, Ekitike's missed a one-on-one. Salah there could have scored. Would have been another assist for Wirtz. He showed some good pace there, Salah. Nice pass by Wirtz as well. When's the next FC coming out, mate? Slot in, says Mario. Newcastle are rubbish. Well, I was talking about this in the first half. Do we think Eddie Howe's under a bit of pressure? Careful what you wish for. You sack Eddie Howe, who do you bring in, and what happens? It's not like they've got hundreds of millions of pounds to spend and they can give the job to Luis Enrique, is it? What's the story with the Liverpool fan base anyway? Because, I mean, look, we've been in this situation a few times as United fans. I mean, the worst one for me was Van Gaal, because I decided I was Van Gaal out at Christmas and he didn't go until the end of the season. So you've got all these games where you want the manager out, but you don't want your team to lose. But it's a weird situation. And I think that, you know, I learned a valuable lesson then. Don't be manager out if you can help it, because the conflict of wanting the manager out but wanting your team to win is a weird thing. And I have seen people saying slot out, but it is a bit unusual for Liverpool fans to be like that. So I don't know whether it's a majority or a silent minority. But the guy won you a title. The guy won you a title, you know. If he can get you playing well again. As I say, I think with Liverpool, like the issues are clear. They've lost a lot of games. They've drawn a lot of games. They're not having a good season. But I don't genuinely think it's about the players not wanting to play for the manager. I don't think it is that. Because if it was, you wouldn't get that performance from 1-0 down to Newcastle. Their players would be like, we're one game away from getting rid of him. Wizzer's coming on, Voltemader's coming on, and Murphy's coming on. Very attacking moves here. Probably just going to change his front three, I would say. I think Liverpool's assessment of Slot is to give him the season anyway, isn't it? I still think it'd be very difficult for Liverpool to get Champions League football, though. You need Man United or Chelsea to really start losing games again. Whoever's the most consistent out of Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man United, between whoever gets the obvious Michael Owen statement, but whoever gets the most wins out of those teams obviously is going to get the top 4 or 5th. But the two most consistent teams will get it. Think about changing your manager at Liverpool as well. Is if you go for Alonso, do Liverpool fans, like at United, the excitement of Amrim's 3-4-3 was just because we thought we were going to spend a lot of money on it. When we realised we weren't going to spend a lot of money on it, we were like, bloody hell, how's this going to work? So the thing about Alonso is he does play 3 at the back. Our Liverpool fans hung up on a back 4 because we found as a fan base we really didn't like not playing a back 4. Liverpool don't worry me much. They're still very inconsistent to Shahin, and they have Champions League games coming up. Yeah, the Liverpool squad isn't at where it should be, I think. Gakpo. Wirtz. Overplayed it there, but he'll win it back. And I know he won't foul. I feel it's a silent minority that want him out. It's hard because he is winning games. They will want him to make Champions League at best, says Mario. And just like that, tomorrow's game became another final must win. I'll say it 5th or 6th is the best we can hope for, Mark. Liverpool finding their mojo. I don't know about that. Either or, Haaland or Mbappe. Well, McAllister has beaten Tonali. Maybe that's because Liverpool are now winning. I will do that one for you, Oliver. Mbappe! 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 Bloody hell, Mbappe! God, you're having a laugh. Mbappe! Mbappe! Have you seen that clip? Mbappe! Mbappe! Slot in. Okay, thank you. I've done that one. 15 to go. This is going to be a very good point. 3 points for Liverpool unless they throw it away. Very impressive 3 points, to be fair. You would never have predicted it after that first half an hour. But we've seen a couple of games like that today. First half, West Ham could have been 3-0 up at half-time. They lose 3-2. Chelsea brilliant in the second half. First half an hour here, Newcastle, much the better team, more intense, more expansive, more energy. 1-0, and then Liverpool flick a switch. Teesside, sorry, I haven't. Newcastle never recovered from losing Isak and injuries, says Alec. That don't impress me much. Take a guess at which teams will go up to the Prem, says Teesside. Well, I think Middlesbrough will. I think Ipswich will. And maybe Coventry won't. Maybe it will be Wrexham in the playoffs. But I think Middlesbrough will. Mbappe is beating Haaland. Look at how... You know what's been impressive about Liverpool, though, is... I don't know whether they've not been doing that this season, but throughout the entirety of this second half, their defensive line has been very high. They've played that high line. Mark, please stop saying Mbappe like this, says Joker. Yeah, but it's a TikTok thing, isn't it? If you don't know what it is, you're not going to get it. Apologies. What about Hull, says Andres. Oh, yeah. I don't know anything about Hull. Rashford scored for Barca. Good. Wrexham, I think, are in the playoffs. Anthony Gordon. Don't stand off him. Bloody hell. Good shot. Just wide. It's amazing how much time Anthony Gordon gets on the goal and here. Someone's got to close him down. They don't close him down quick enough. You can't leave a player of that quality time to get his shot off. Do I think Liverpool will get fourth? I think it's ridiculously early to predict that. Liverpool have struggled to string wins together this season. Yeah, we're doing Spurs Man City tomorrow, 4:30 kickoff. But United stand for Fulham Man United at Old Trafford at 2 o'clock as well, which obviously is a big game in the race for top 5. Chelsea have won. Liverpool are going to win. So the race for those Champions League spots, of which 4th and 5th will be spots. The coefficient is massively in the favour of the Premier League. So 5th place again should be Champions League football. Pretty much nailed on. Why did we buy Isak? Injured, yes. Needed, no, says expert. I've never questioned why Liverpool went for Isak, regardless of the injuries. I think last summer, if you're offered Isak and he wants to come, it looked like an incredible signing, didn't it? Obviously, in hindsight, he's been injured most of the season. Corner to Newcastle. That don't impress me much. It's great how you can just watch Netflix on your phone. Put that there. I'm such an unk saying that, aren't I? You're all like, yeah, it's just part of our lives. T. Faraza says, we need Isak. Imagine having both him and the Ekatike. We could actually rotate. Yeah, I don't think he's back till April, though, is he? JG7 says, appreciate you doing all the watch-alongs today. Yeah, for some reason, I found it easier doing the 3 till 3, half 5 and 8 than I do doing the half 12, half 5 and 8. Longer, this is a shorter day. WX says, what makes you think United keep this form up? Curious. I don't know. Look, there are no guarantees. I can't sit here with genuine conviction and say that United are going to go and win their next 8 games and get hold of the Champions League spots. It's based on Carrick's simplified things. Some of our players are quite simple. They like easy instructions, and therefore. And also, the thing with United is we should have a lot more points than we have. I don't know how it's worked for Liverpool. Maybe they feel the same, but we should have a lot more points than we've got. So I just feel that we're probably going to go on a bit of a run. Ollie won his first 8. Wouldn't be surprised if Carrick won his first 5 or 6. So, but for that to happen, I don't think it will go on for the rest of the season, and we will drop points at some point. We've got to go to Newcastle. We've got to go to Bournemouth. We've got to go to Palace. No, we're not going to go to Palace. We've got to go to Chelsea. So there are places that we probably will drop points at. But I just feel we will get, and that's why it's important that Liverpool drop some points in these next 3 games. Now, they've got off to a great start here. But Man City will be a tough one next week, and then Sunderland away, they've not lost at home. But good question. Mbappe has beaten Haaland with 57% of the vote. I do feel like Newcastle have been taken apart by Liverpool, though. Apart from that first half an hour, Liverpool could have had 4 or 5 here. And when you take into account the Harvey Barnes shot that was well saved by Alisson, that was actually offside. So really, Newcastle haven't created anything. I think Ekatike might be coming off here. Chiesa and Curtis Jones are coming on. Salah's coming off as well. Didn't get his goal. All gone quiet over there, Mark, says Lasky. Look, I think most Liverpool fans ain't going to start trying it on yet. You've got Man City next week. We've got Spurs at home. That gap could be bigger this time. Well, come 8 o'clock next Sunday night. We beat Fulham, we beat Spurs. You don't beat Man City, that gap gets bigger. We go to West Ham, you go to Sunderland. Might get even bigger. So, look, the race is on. Whoever can start winning games on the regular. I think you've got to rule Newcastle out of the Champions League spots, though. I think today was the day that ended for Newcastle. Maybe if they'd come here and won, they can. One thing Eddie Howe's been very good at Newcastle is winning 4 or 5 games in a row. But I don't think they're out of it. Don't underestimate Spurs, says Mark. You've actually typed that. I mean, with all due respect, I'm gonna definitely underestimate Spurs. Do you know Spurs' next 4 games are Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Arsenal. That's their February. If Thomas Frank's in a job in March, I'll be very surprised. Then again, his Champions League form is good. And imagine if Spurs lose all 4 of them. Are we saying that West Ham won't win any? Yellow card. Spurs normally beat Man United, says Simon. Do they? Don't remember that. I know they beat us in the Europa League final. Fine. Fair play. Well, not fair play. It was absolutely embarrassing, but they did. But how they nearly beat us at Spurs when De Ligt got that last-minute goal. I mean, that was just a bloody embarrassment. We never should have bloody been equalising with a last-minute goal, let alone bloody nearly losing. Newcastle have been pathetic today, says Matt. First half an hour, they were good. Aya says, would you take Newcastle's Hall over Belabor? Well, one's a left-back and one's a midfielder, mate, so no. What are you going to watch tonight? I don't know. I do normally have to get up early on a Sunday for Seb's football, but I haven't got to get up early tomorrow, so I thought it'd feel like a Saturday night late one. I never stay up late. So, I don't know. Might just watch YouTube. Might just watch myself on YouTube. I'm such a big head. Dan Burr might be getting sent off here. I think he slid tackle Gakpo off the ball. And I don't know whether he'd just been booked. Yeah, I mean, look, the ball's gone out of play there, and I think Dan Burn knows it. Nothing's going to happen. I've seen Den of Thieves, good film, yeah. George says Dundee United want Goldbridge as manager. You know what? If I ever got a job offer like that, which has never happened, I would be heavily tempted to quit all this just to have a go at it. Be very, very selfish. It would be very selfish, but I would consider it. Stop United standing that's football to go and manage Dundee United. I'd probably fail massively, and I could start it up again in about a fortnight, but. One down, 2 to go for Liverpool then. 3 games where I think they can drop points. This was potentially one. Fair play. They've played very well. They deserve the 3 points. Man City next Sunday. But it is at Anfield. And you know what though? Let's flip the positive here. They've got Newcastle out the way. They've got Man City next week. Look at what United did to Man City. At home. And Liverpool have got a whole week off, haven't they? Because they're not in the Carabao Cup. Look what Bodo Glimt did to Man City, says Matt. They have sorted the defence out a little bit, though, haven't they, Man City? I mean, I know they've got Gehi, but Nunes back as well. Be a big game next week. I'll be watching it anyway. We'll be doing a watch along anyway, but it's a massive game for the title race and the top 5 race. So for Chelsea and Man United, we'll be looking at it. Will Liverpool drop points? From Arsenal, they'll be looking at will Man City and Villa. Do you think United get top 4? Honest opinion, says Charlie. I mean, look, it's going to be a roller coaster, isn't it? But they should do. From the position they're in, and they're not in Europe, they should do. The top 6 will be the top 6. It's just what order it's in. I feel sorry for Arsenal not being invited this non-low block games. It's such a shame, but the respect undeniable. Yeah, look, I think that's a fair point, Deceptor King. No team plays like they do against Arsenal. It's always a low block, isn't it? Do you have any coaching license like UEFA Pro, says Chris? No, I don't conform to their rules. I have my own. Built up on years of playing computer games and football. I don't need no licenses. Any watch-alongs tomorrow, says Ahmed? Yes, United stand at 2 o'clock for the Fulham game, Man United. And then here at 4:30, Spurs against Man City. Good weekend of football this weekend, actually. Been some good games. And remember, we've got a double week of the Premier League coming up. So next weekend, there's Premier League, and then midweek. Gakpo should have hit it first time. Should have hit that first time. He's a bit greedy, isn't he, Gakpo? It's that stage of the game where he's almost trying to score a goal instead of passing. Like, the cutback was on so many times. What would happen if Spurs went down? Would all their players leave? Yeah. I mean, the only one I can think of is Leeds in my lifetime that had a lot of good players and went down. But I think they started going before they got relegated as well. Captain says Gakpo never passes when there's a chance. Oh, Pope. Goal. Canate. 4-1. What does that do? Is goal difference a thing? Well, I know it's a thing. Liverpool's goal difference has just gone up to +6. Ours is better than yours. We're +7. Chelsea's is +15. God, Liverpool's goal difference, it hasn't been that good, has it? Nice for Canate, though. Obviously, lost his father this week. So... yeah, +6 for Liverpool. Man United are +7. Chelsea are +15. 4-1. It is a destruction. Demolition job. A bit of a mistake by Nick Pope, to be honest. Been a couple of goalkeeping errors today. If you haven't seen the second Arsenal goal. $90 +3 for Canate. I will be doing a match reaction, yes. You don't look too happy, Mark. Well, what do you want me to say? You know, I desperately want Man United to get Champions League football, and I have to give respect to Liverpool, and I've got to come. You know, I can't be moaning about it on a match reaction, but honest opinion, slightly more concerned than I was before the game that Liverpool have produced a result like this, which I didn't think they were capable of doing. So, look, they've got Man City next week. That'll be the big test, of course, but it's better from Liverpool. But that was my concern. That's why I said United needed to be active in the transfer window. Dorgu's out for a while. If we lose somebody else, just how important is Bruno G for Newcastle? Yeah, I mean, I think that was always a loss for them. But there we go. Final whistle. Well done to Liverpool. I'm just going to go and record a match reaction. I'll get that up for you very, very quickly. Back tomorrow for United Stand. Liverpool fans, you might want to watch us against Fulham. And also we've got Man City against Spurs tomorrow as well. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Have a great evening, day, whatever you're doing. And I'll whack a match reaction up in about 10 minutes. Speak to you in a bit.